Hello guys, welcome back to another Lumley trading video. In this one we're going to be going through our day trading recap for August 29th. So again, August 29th we started posting at 8:25 or 8:52 market time. Again, if you want to join the Discord, this is where we post what we're looking at. It is in the description. So we have a range to fill on both Qs and SPYs. What are these ranges? Provided the pennies of them. 471 to 468, the same on SPY, 558 to 557. Again, futures help with this bias due to all the downside gaps created pre-market. So overall, in a quick summary, we are short bias for the day. Now, the overall bias has now been correct, but it was definitely not as clean as we would have liked. So, like we said here, if you want the A-star setup, so again, remember, we're doing this small account setup. Small account challenge. When I say these are A-star setups, these are the ones I'm going to be taking on that. If they're not an A-star setup, they carry more risk. And on the small account challenge, we can't afford to take that risk. So we're only taking these A-star setups on the small accounts. But again, we will look to short at 670, 630 on the Qs or 561.16 on SPY. No guarantees that we hit the up that high. So what this really means normally is today, obviously, if you don't already know, obviously markets which flew up and then now they come down to hit these targets. A lot of times you kind of just come and do that move right away. So if so, you might miss entries by waiting for the high quality entry. But again, that is trading. So anyway, again, we were looking to get shorts at here. I was mainly focused on the SPY. We weren't actually live, but if you were in the chat, again, you can always ask which ones I'm looking at. But we mainly focused on SPY because it was seeming to be a bit lagging. And what I mean by that is Qs will hit its targets first and then SPY. So the reason I prefer to trade it is if we hit target on Qs, we will probably hit it on SPY too, but we'll get a better entry. So that's what we were looking at. And then also at the same time, you did also have a magnet on the NASDAQ futures, so that would also line up with the level or the range we provided you. So if we go over to the chart, again, we have opened over here. We were looking to get short here. Now, small account challenge video has already been posted. We took profits on this move here. Reason for that is you could kind of tell it wasn't going to be a clean swipe straight down to here. And again, it's kind of just from how the price action was moving. Normally you hit these levels, you get kind of, there is noticeable signs that we're just going to sell off quite quickly. And again, it should show that. But in this case, kind of get popping all over the place, which to me is not clear or clean price action. So we're not going to go straight down to here most of the time. So we locked in profits. I think they made about 25% on the options on that. Now what you will see is, again, we went there, break through, and then pushed up for a lot of the day. Now, overall, these targets are always still going to be in play. The range, if the range has not been touched, you're going to hit this range, kind of fill it probably 95% of the time. So even when you get these pushes away, if the options are cheap, they're great trades to trade down. And that's what we're looking at, the 562 puts, which again is here. These were only $40. We can run through the options at the end. So if you were interested in the option pricing, these are the trades where you can make home run trades because they get so cheap and they will spike hundreds of percent. Same thing on Qs. So we opened up, we pushed up, hit that 423 range. On the Qs, it was a bit cleaner because it doesn't go as offside. It still takes just as long, but it doesn't go as far offside like it does on the SPY. But overall, we kind of chop in this range, start to trade off. We retest our resistance. And then we get this massive sell-off. Again, we do expect to move these. It doesn't always have to be a catalyst. The market will just try and do it again, whether that's market makers pushing it down, whether that's algorithms pushing it down, whatever it is, they will try and target these ranges. So that's why we use them as targets. Once one fills, then again, there's less strength on the other. So here, SPY filled exactly there. That filled at 2:48 market time. So Qs still has potential to come all the way down, but again, I would just take the profits and run, especially on a day like this where it's hitting so much later in the day. But again, that is kind of the main play. We'll go through the last things we talked about in the Discord, then run over the options pricing. So again, NQ magnets line up with the ETF shorts. So that's what we went over. Now, again, oh yeah, I did talk about focusing on SPY. Options are cheaper and should hit the target after QQQ. So again, we get a better entry. But again, this may mean no trade if we can't get the whole push. Don't FOMO if you take that choice. Okay, so now with the SPY plays, like I said, QQQs would hit earlier than SPY. Basically, just again, kind of showing you what's happening and how QQQs obviously is hitting that slight bit before. Now, magnet here, again, this is where you expect price to move to, especially if you're trading futures. If you kind of run some nice stops, you can just wait for the trading move up to the magnets for the day. And again, you'll see up here we have a lot of gaps to fill. So kind of when we see that, and again, I didn't actually notice that when I gave my pre-market bias, is we do have gaps to fill there. So sometimes you will spike up to try and take these out, but we still ran a bit further than we kind of predicted because we filled those. But again, we will put up the futures charts to show you what all of this means. Again, we took the trades on the futures, and again, we took the profits earlier. Like we said, you had this kind of whipsaw movement. So we just took the profits and ran, and after that, it did spike up for a lot longer. Then, again, expect moves to be highlighted. Basically, again, when we're placing these anchor VWAP levels, just expect price to start coming down to test these. So again, those were our three main focuses for the day. We also do have that SPY level, but it did seem quite far off, so we weren't as focused on it. Again, just talking about giving sometimes time on these short biases, because you can see what the momentum is telling us. They were holding in the top range, which does normally show you that, again, there's more buyers than sellers, and kind of just shows you the strength is to the upside, at least temporarily. Again, updated these levels about an hour ago just to show you, again, we're still targeting these levels. And if we go over to trading view, what happened with these levels? So again, SPY on the left, Qs on the right. If we zoom out, what's happening? Hit that one, cool, the targets have hit that one, targets have hit, and then what's down here? The range we provided. So again, we needed to break through both of these to get to the range, and it's why we didn't really look for bounce plays off these, because if the bias is still short, we don't want to be taking longs off these plays, and instead the shorts were much nicer. Again, if you're trading anchor VWAPs from intraday moves, look what happens. You get your anchor for now from the top. That can be your entry short. You can either have stops at a high or just risk some tight stops. But either way, we have our bias down, so we're looking to trade the down bias or the short bias plays, and not looking too long when we still have targets to hit. So that was the trading view analysis. That's going to be most of it. Again, that was just some chat after that. And again, just posted in, like as we're recording this analysis, is the the SPY at least has already filled to the penny. We're still waiting for that Qs to do that final run. Again, there's no guarantee that it will now do that final one on Qs. There's still a high probability, but nothing guaranteed. So again, it's why you lock profits on when SPY fills, because you will see that was literally the exact bottom. So that overall was quite clean. Now, I quickly said I'd run through the option pricings for you. So again, look where we're trading. We're trading around 563.68 at highs. And again, there's two ways you can kind of look at this. What are you targeting? We're targeting down to these kind of 557, 558 range. So they're the options we can look to play. So if you go over to the 558 puts, we send those over to chart 2. Look at the spikes. So these were $3 a contract. Where did they spike up to? $150. So again, if we bought them for $5 a contract, they spiked over 2,800% on that. Again, you could have got the more expensive ones, which are the ones I like to play a bit more. The 62 puts, which are the ones I was looking at. Could have, again, when I kind of bought them, they were kind of sitting around this $40 area. Reason for that is, again, starting to get these lower highs, starting to show you that we have now potential to break down. Also, again, RSI starting to hold the lower bound all at the same time. So this is starting to give you some insight into now we should start this downside move. Again, the bias is still there. We just had a bit of kind of error on the timing, or just had to wait on the timing. Once the signs show you, which they do in this area here, that now we should start flipping down, then again, this is when we can enter the shorts. And what do the puts provide? Again, around here, they're trading around this range. Even if you're buying the higher range, say you buy around $50, again, they still do some nice pushes, 850% on the more expensives. So again, they still provided some clean moves, depending which ones you want. You know, you could have made, on the low end, you were probably looking at a 500% move. On the high end, you're looking at a few thousand. And again, these are the trades. If you really want to build a small account with the kind of, you take on more risk on these, and it's why I didn't do it for the small account challenge. But if you're trying to grow small accounts, with really good risk to rewards. These are the trades I would look to take, because again, you're looking for hundreds of percent. So you could be wrong 4 trades in a row and you'll make it all back in one winning trade. But overall, nice trading day. Again, not as clean as we would always like it, but always happy when we see the price plays out. We give you the range and it comes down to the penny and fills it. Again, we'll wait to see what Q's does. It's still got 2 minutes till the close. We'll see if we kind of get that final push. If we don't fill this by the last 10 minutes of the market open, look at the 3:50 p.m. candle, because that is normally an algo candle. It will normally push you one direction or the other, and if this isn't filled, it will probably try and push you down there. But again, not something I would personally trade. Once we hit the SPY completion, I would be done for the day. I'm not looking to touch anything else for the rest of the day. I am done. The only things I'd be looking at, if you're looking to kind of see if you're playing the bounce, because again, once these fill, especially late in the day, chances is we can push up. What are targets? Again, use these anchored re-ups. That's what they're great for. It's great for targets for the day. So again, use the red ones. The other ones we have kind of gone through. So that one's been filled. Yellow has been filled. Green has been filled. So we've got these two untouched anchored re-ups. And if we put one here, this one has probably been touched by now. So that would have been first target at 559.50. Now you got 559.97 and then 560.70. They're going to be 3 targets. That one's done. These are the last 2 that you would mostly expect to get filled on the day. Again, sometimes you do leave 1 or 2 running for the day, and we'll trade them tomorrow. But as of right now, these can be used for targets. But again, you already hit the first one. That's normally a good sign to start taking profits. Plus, we're in a mixed range because we do have room to left to run on the Qs. So again, always be cautious on these. Right now, we're just coming back to test, coming to just retest some of these moving averages that we broke through without retesting. But overall, again, range is filled. Bias was kind of a bit delayed, but overall correct. And again, as long as the range is filled, that is always the main trade setup. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next one, and that's it. Peace.